Hello, thank you so much for joining us tonight. Could you just introduce yourself for our audience and just tell us a little bit more what you do?
Yep. So I'm Sabya. I work at Trezeo and I'm the risk manager there. I look after the credit risk profile of the customers, but being in a startup, we do pretty much everything from customer calls to supporting them through their questions about Trezeo. So Trezeo is a financial services app which works for the self-employed people. It's solely for self-employed people, and it addresses the biggest challenge for self-employed people where they have a variability of their income from day-to-day work. So we're currently working with gig workers, the likes of Uber drivers and Deliveroo riders, and what it's doing is helping take their volatile income and give them a stable paycheck. It does it by bringing in a little bit of friction about giving them their average weekly pay week on week, so that they'll be able to budget better and have more financial stability in the future.
Sounds amazing. So tonight we're going to talk about financial inclusion. So we know that open banking is supposed to be this driving force for good. So what has it been doing for financial inclusion?
So it's playing a massive role in financial inclusion from where Trezeo comes from. So we use open banking to actually look at the historic earnings of the user when they sign up. Now, not only is it giving us that variability of their income and giving an instant view of how their income varies from busy to quiet times, which helps us then forecast what their weekly pay amount should be. It's also giving us a deep insight into what their spending patterns are and where the actual pain points lie. So, for instance, like somebody could be cut out of paying by direct debit, which we all know is a cheaper option because they don't have the ability to budget for that. So open banking is helping solve for that by giving those tools to financial service providers like ourselves, where we can give them innovative products to help stabilize their income.
You know what, I just realised, so as far as I know, please correct me if I'm wrong, you've been working with Nationwide and their Open Banking for Good initiative. So what exactly, do you do?
Yeah, so the Nationwide program came out of Open Banking for Good is a nationwide initiative where they selected 7 fintechs to deliver open banking and show that it's delivering good. So Trezeo was a part of that because we were providing income smoothing, which was one of the key focus areas for open banking for Nationwide's open banking program. So what we have been able to deliver so far, and it's been a massive amount of support we've had from Nationwide, is develop our app to make it more like customer friendly, because without that we wouldn't have had the resources or the input from the charities and the other organizations involved in the program. So it's been a fantastic program so far.
So it's definitely collaboration at its best. It sounds like it. I can see that there are plenty of opportunities with open banking to help drive financial inclusion. What have been the challenges so far?
So there are a few challenges in terms of the customer trust point. I mean, that's my personal opinion. So where it comes to open banking, I mean, for years and years, banks have been telling customers, don't share your login credentials with other people. Now, here we are, using an open banking, smart connection to your bank account to get your transaction history, but you are having to give us that permission. So thereby, you're actually logging into your bank. I mean, it is very important that customers are given to understand that the open banking providers are all regulated, and there should be a wider aspect of trust around that, where banks are also favoring the open banking providers, which kind of goes against their vested interests. But I think that's one of the biggest challenges that we face as a fintech.
It's very interesting. Thank you so much for sharing. Just one last question. So what community like Open Banking Excellence, so you joined us tonight, what could we do to help drive financial inclusion?
So yeah, I mean, that's being in a forum like this where you have that reach and kind of clout to actually be able to do something about it. I mean, it's actually crying out to be more formalized. So if as a group you could push for banks to be more inclusive, so give not make it harder to verify customers' names from the thing. I mean, there's been lots of variations within the PSD to back and forth about taking out customers' name from the information, then putting it back in again. So if the focus is more on the customer side, to make it more understandable that why the customer is linking up their bank and how it is not going to harm them or be harmful to them, that would be a big step forward.
Well, it's a pleasure for us to actually create this platform for the likes of Trezeo to actually, help you meet the wider community and just see how this beautiful collaboration is going to flourish. Thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks for having me.